here to present on behalf of the International Organization for Migration on the e-waste project, creating humanitarian response through repair, recovery and recycling of solar e-waste in displacement settings. This project was funded by Innovation Norway, and our project partners were Bright Products, Total Energies Off-Grid Solar Solutions and Solvos, and our implementing partner Mercy Corps. Humanitarian agencies distribute electronic products vital for energy and communication in displacement settings such as solar lanterns. However, with limited financial subsidies, recycling or collection infrastructure, only 1% of e-waste in displacement settings reaches formal recyclers. The result is that displaced and host communities are exposed to toxic compounds during unsafe disassembly or disposal. E-waste is often burnt, meaning inhaled toxins and persistent pollutants remain in soil when e-waste is thrown in nature, which is also a common practice. IOM received funding from Innovation Norway to develop a cost-effective solution for the repair, reuse and recycling of solar e-waste through the creation of a circular economy. The project aimed to influence manufacturers to create more repairable or recyclable solar designs, extend product life cycles, create jobs, support livelihoods, and inform sustainable procurement policies. Additionally, and importantly, it also sought to gather evidence for scaling the solution globally. But before we looked at a solution, we really needed to understand the issue from the perspective of affected populations. IOM conducted needs assessments across 5 displacement settings in Kenya and Uganda. We also hosted a market dialogue with the private sector to understand what opportunities were currently available in the market and any barriers they were facing to work with humanitarian organisations to solve the e-waste challenge. Through these studies, we found 5 key takeaways. 1, solar lanterns weren't meeting user needs. I'll talk about this more in a moment. 2, batteries were seen as the weakest part of solar products. 3, repair technicians had limited access to spare parts and tools due to both capital and availability of them in the markets. 4, recycling wasn't incentivised due to its low value for money when not at scale and limited government subsidies on recycling. And 5, a key barrier for the private sector was access to displacement settings. IOM released a call for innovative partnerships. This wasn't a traditional tender. We were asking the private sector to solve this challenge with us. We hosted an ideation session where traditionally competing private actors looked holistically at the e-waste challenge and the potential solutions that they could offer. And this is a graphic illustration of that discussion. We then selected 3 private sector companies to partner with: Total Energies, Off-Grid Solar Solutions, Bright Products and Solvos. Each focused on a different part of the solar e-waste value chain to establish a circular economy for solar lantern e-waste in the selected pilot location, which was Bidi Bidi refugee settlement in Uganda. Total Energies Off-Grid Solar Solutions focused on battery recycling. They worked with their subcontractor Acceleron to develop the BAT Lab, a mobile facility that tests end-of-life batteries, selects the cells that are not end-of-life and repurposes them into new battery packs. We used local materials as much as possible and hired local workers to help set up the BAT Lab, as you can see from the video here. Bright Products trained 6 repair technicians, 4 from the refugee settlement and 2 from the host community, to start a solar lantern repair centre, providing them with training, spare parts and tools. 2 of these technicians were also female, though they opted out of the photos. IOM Uganda's partner Mercy Corps also conducted a community campaign to raise awareness about the health and environmental risks of improperly disposed e-waste, encouraging the Bidi Bidi refugee and host communities to use the established collection points to drop off their broken solar lanterns. Solvos recognised that addressing solar e-waste in displacement settings requires purchasing the right products from the outset. In collaboration with IOM and over 60 humanitarian organisations, Solvoz developed sustainability criteria and technical guidelines for the sustainable procurement of solar lanterns, solar home systems, batteries, and repair and waste management services. These guidelines are available online from the Solvoz website for the entire sector. IOM used its community response app to monitor implementation in real time. Pre and post satisfaction surveys were collected from users dropping off solar lanterns for repair, while technicians logged repair data and spare parts used. Bright Products had direct access to this feedback, which again I'll talk about in a moment. So results. In just 5 months, 5,244 battery cells were collected and recycled into 17 battery packs for on-sale or reuse. Of those tested in Bidi Bidi, 12% were found to be reusable. This figure was confusing to us as it was extremely low recovery rate, but we found this was actually because we were only collecting batteries from Bright Products that were damaged, and because these specific products were so durable that it lasted over 7 years in the camps, and it meant the battery was actually the weakest part. But when we sourced batteries from waste collection companies outside the camp, it was found that 82% of end-of-life battery cells were able to be recovered into new battery packs. This is a huge finding. If, as a humanitarian sector, we can collect battery waste from the context we work and use that energy to create battery packs to power, for example, our offices, healthcare centres, local streetlights, this could support the sustainable energy transition. So there's huge potential in solid waste management and battery recovery for this. 95% of solar lanterns brought to collection centres could be repaired. In just 5 months, 3,005 lanterns were returned to households, giving light and energy benefits to communities. 3,179 lanterns were prevented from being improperly disposed, avoiding air toxicity, groundwater contamination, and the associated human health risks. Bright's access to user feedback data from IOM's community response app, as I mentioned before, was really transformative. PCBAs, which are a part of the product, were identified as a major cause of failure. But investigation revealed that complete PCBA replacement was often unnecessary. It was simply that technicians lacked the appropriate cleaning tools. So Bright provided the tools and it significantly reduced the PCBA demand. Another example was the solar panel replacements that were being requested. This was really confusing to Bright as these are one of the most durable aspects. And so we took Bright to Bidi Bidi and we found together that the long cord between the panel and the lantern was actually being cut for other purposes. Bright reduced the length of the cord and this fixed the issue. I might add both of these design modifications actually reduced the cost of the lantern. Last year, Bright released the new Sol design based on direct feedback from repair technicians and the populations of Bidi Bidi refugee settlement. They co-designed it, which is really amazing. The technicians were very excited, and the collaboration addressed the private sector's lack of data, enabling a user-based and more economical design of their products. The project raised e-waste awareness among 10,000 households with a 32% drop-off rate at collection points. This figure is big, but it represents just 4% of the Bidi Bidi refugee settlement, which indicates a significant potential for scaling up. Bidi Bidi is 250 square kilometres, and the distance to collection points was often too far for many people. Increasing collection points and introducing a mobile collection service could also improve reach. To scale effectively, it's important to further integrate the informal economy as well, such as scrap dealers, into the circular economy model. And we should also look at different types of e-waste, so not just Bright products, but also mobile phones and other types of solar brands and other types of e-products. Another aspect to consider for scale is the willingness to pay. For the pilot, the repair service was free, but the online survey showed that many people would actually be willing to pay for the repair service, which can be built into the solar e-waste circular economy. Overall, the project enhanced environmental protection in Bidi Bidi, but also supported greening of humanitarian response through sustainable procurement. It improved health outcomes due to reduced improper disposal and created job opportunities. The project also supported light and energy access, enabling Bidi Bidi populations to protect themselves from scorpions and snakes at night and allowing children to study. IOM has developed the publicly available toolkit for creating a circular economy for e-waste in displacement settings to be relaunched as a multi-agency document through the Global E-Waste Task Force later this year. The project achieves exceptional value for money through private sector partnerships, leveraging shared resources and expertise. A third-party scalability assessment report from Tinker noted that the e-waste project was the most advanced circular economy model for e-waste in displacement settings as of the time of writing. Since then, IOM has received funding from Innovation Norway to scale the project, exploring replication in other displacement settings, further integration of the local ecosystem, increasing e-waste feedstock, and exploring additional income streams. This includes leveraging willingness to pay for repairs, as I mentioned before, the on-sale of recovered battery packs, and also interest from companies like Apple, Panasonic, and Samsung, who see the value in precious metals recovery from displacement settings. With the global e-waste market valued at $57.8 billion in 2022 and projected to reach $244.6 billion in 2032, if only 1% of e-waste is formally recycled in displacement settings, there's a significant untapped economic opportunity that could be used to drive long-term sustainable development in humanitarian response, in line with the Humanitarian Development Peace Nexus. Ultimately, IOM's goal is to revolutionize e-waste management by shifting from a linear, wasteful approach to a circular model. Our focus is on promoting repairability, recovery, recyclability, green employment, and partnerships. This empowers internally displaced persons, refugees, and host communities to become self-reliant, driving socio-economic development and creating multiple income streams. Importantly, this initiative also offers a model for UN entities and partners to advance climate neutrality and sustainability goals. Thank you to EEHF organisers for the opportunity to present this project, to other innovators and everyone in the audience for listening. Please contact us at washsupport@iom.int for any follow-up questions. Thank you.